Flosstube, it's me. I'm Wendy, and this is A Stitch in the Matrix. I am Matrix Stitcher here on YouTube and Wendy Merganser on Instagram, and this is a channel mainly about cross stitch and sometimes other crafts and random things. So welcome. If you're new, you're very welcome here, and if you're coming back again, I'm so glad you're back. Thanks for hanging out with me yet again. Today is Sunday, July 13th, 2025, and this is episode 13, and it's my 1-year Flosstubersary. Yay! Can't believe it's been a year already. I have had so much fun. Just enjoyed meeting all of you guys and making friendships and learning stuff from everyone, and it's just been great. So thank you guys for making this a really good year. So, first of all, a disclaimer. We've reached enough episodes now that I am starting to forget whether I have shared things or just planned on sharing them, so I would like to apologize in advance. I'll probably start repeating myself and showing you things I just showed you in the last episode. So I'll do my best. So I thought, since it's my 1-year anniversary, I should probably do a giveaway. So let's do a giveaway. I like to include folks from all over the globe because I do have a lot of international viewers, and I'm super happy that y'all are here. So I don't want to leave you out. And also, I'm too lazy to go to the post office. So I know that 123 Stitch does a lot of international shipping, and it's very easy to give gift cards. So what I'm going to do is give away two $30 gift cards to 123 Stitch. If you end up being in a country, if you win and you end up being in a country that either 123 Stitch does not ship to, or I know some countries pay a very large customs fee, so I want this to be fun and not a burden. So as long as you have some sort of mail order website that I can send you a gift card to for cross stitch supplies, then we can work something out. So if you win, I will announce it in the next video, and then if you're in another country, just let me know and we'll figure out how best to do this. So the same rules apply that you hear on lots of Flosstubes. Don't say win, don't say giveaway, free, etc. in your comment, because you will attract trolls. Please be at least 18 years old so that I can get your contact information. I will only need your email address though. So, and as an aside, again, I know I've said this in the past, if you're under 18 and you're watching Flosstube videos and you're a cross stitcher, you're an awesome kid. You're going to go places. I think you're great. So just get your parents to enter for you so that you can get it. Okay, I'm going to use the YouTube random comment picker. I'll use it right before I film my next episode to pick 2 random winners. And that'll probably, should be about 4 weeks from today, but I've been terrible about keeping on schedule, so I'll do my best. I will not comment on your comment just to avoid other, folks that do shenanigans on YouTube. So definitely, if I will post your, I'll mention you in the next video, and then I'll post your names in the show notes of that video if you've won. So just reach out to me the various ways you can email me or message me on Instagram, and then we'll work something out. Oh, so if you want to enter the giveaway, use the word string in a sentence. S-T-R-I-N-G. And no particular reason, I just always thought that word sounded funny. Do you have any string? Okay, so another order of business. My friend Donna has been wonderfully generous in hosting on her Zoom account Stitchy meetups, and we've scheduled another one for July 26th. It's 5 p.m. UK time, so that would be 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, etc. So that's July 26th at 5 p.m. UK time. If you are interested in joining, just reach out to me and I will send you the link. If you've joined in the past, I will try to just email you the link in advance, unless you tell me to stop bothering you. But I would love for you to come back if you've already joined us. So anyone is welcome. You do not have to stitch ducks if you don't want to. It's just for fun. We're just hanging out stitching, and we've had a good time the last few times. So thank you again, Donna, for being so generous. And I look forward to seeing y'all. Okay, is that enough general business? Let's get to some stitching. If you watched my last episode for the Whip Parade and you counted along, I think I had 61 whips and 31 kits, although some viewers commented and had slightly different numbers. It's very hard to keep track of these, but it doesn't matter because I've started even more projects. So the number's a little higher. So I had 6 starts this month, and I plan to actually start another one that I kitted up, so I'll be starting that one soon. So let's show you what I've been up to. I only have one whip. And you may have noticed this thing behind me here. I finished Steve's quilt. And if I look a little out of breath and sweaty, it's because I already filmed showing his quilt, and I forgot how heavy it is. And then I didn't realize I didn't push record, so I had to do that twice. So I'm very tired now from holding up this quilt. But if you want to see it, just wait till the end, and I will be showing it. Okay. So, the whip I worked on was Extraordinary Birds by Lola Crow Cross Stitch. This is one of the cover photos. There's been quite a few more birds added, I think. This is so exciting. Look at all these cool birds. I'm a little behind. I'm up to the cassowary. I'm having so much fun. This is like even more fun than the aquarium sal, really. I mean, I'm having such a blast. So let's see. One moment. I don't know the best way to show this. Hold on one second. Okay, so I'm going to show you the whole thing, and then I'll let you look at some close-ups. But here is, and I'm stitching this on 32 count sandbar by BeStitchMe. And I'm doing all the birds over one, just for fun. So here it is, all big. I'm so proud of this cassowary. You have to see it up close. One moment. Here, I'll let you see everything up close. So here's the first 2 birds, the vampire parrot, I think, and the barn owl. And then, okay, then I was over here, I think, doing the booby and the little vampire finch. He came out so good. And then these guys. Did y'all know there are poisonous birds? I didn't. I had no idea. These are so cool. And here's my cassowary. So I did his legs and his head. Let me see if I can get a better look at this thing. I did his legs and his head over one, but I did the body normally over 2 threads. And so I think it makes him look kind of poofy. I don't like the lighting here. Let's see if I can improve it. Can y'all see this? Okay. There he is. And I will confess, the reason I did it that way, because you started stitching him from the bottom up, because there's no reference points really up here to start top down. And I was kind of scared to do over one that far of a distance, and I don't like going from bottom. My brain doesn't work that way. And so I mean, I could have counted and stuff, but I thought it might look like he's kind of poofy if I do it over 2, so it worked out really good. I can't believe I didn't mess this up. And there he is. In case you're wondering, you're like, why are you doing over 1? Just for fun. This is a technique that folks use with the fancy ladies, the mirabilis, to make their skin look realistic. And with those, the color changes are more gradual. So you don't get, I know it looks kind of pixelated. You get like the blocks of, and someone, I forget who, showed a video on how to do it, and it just sounded fun. And all you do is you take up, if there's 1x of a color, you just change that 1x into 4 tiny x's. So over 1 thread, and the effect is it looks more detailed. And I only use 1, what do I do? I use 2 threads, but I'm doing a 10th stitch because otherwise it would be too much thread jammed in there. Or you can use 1 thread and do just tiny x's. But it's just for fun. I think it's coming out kind of cute, but I know it looks more pixelated, so they look kind of weird. A true over one pattern would be, you would do like, if you did the whole thing over one thread, you would just, you know, the same way you cross stitch, and it would look a lot more detailed and tiny, but since they're not charted that way. Anyway, I'm babbling, but I like the way it's coming out. It's been fun, and if I get sick of doing it, I will stop. So, can't wait to get back to this one. Okay, so that's my first whip. I'm trying to keep some semblance of order. And now we are on to the new starts. So I started, I think 2 episodes ago, I talked to you about, I charted up a quote by Anna Julia Cooper, and I'll read it to you. "The cause of freedom is not the cause of a race or a sect, a party or a class. It is the cause of humankind, the very birthright of humanity." And so I just threw this into a pattern maker and charted it up. And I did release it for free. I'm just giving it away. If anyone else wants to stitch this, it's on my Instagram. If you go to my Instagram profile, there's a link. It looks like it's just a YouTube link, but if you click on that, you get 3 links. So there's my YouTube channel, but then there's downloads for this. So if you click on it, it'll just instantly download the PDF. So you're welcome to stitch along if you want. So I did start it. I didn't get very far, but I did start it. I have three words. I stopped because I had this thing, like I can never just stitch something in all one color. I was going to do this in 939, which is a navy blue color. And by the way, this is stitched on 18 count True Grit by Stitchman Darcy. He's on Etsy. And I wondered if I should make Freedom like in red or something. But maybe I should just stop overthinking things and just stitch it all in one color. So that's why I stopped. Also, I noticed as I was stitching, for some reason I used Max Stitch, and so you just type into a box and then you tell it what font you want and it booms it right onto the, but for some reason it cut off the letters on the sides, so I just been fixing them, like the T. See how the T's missing one little column of stitches. So I do intend to fix the pattern. It's easy to fix if you're already starting it. I apologize. This is why I'm not a designer. But I'll just re-upload it so the upload will be, and maybe I'll put an announcement or something. I just haven't gotten around to it. But it's easy. You can see what's missing from the letters. Like the F in Freedom is missing, you know, a stitch on this side. I ran out of hands to point. So anyway, that's that. And I'm loving this fabric by Stitchman Darcy. I love his. And he has started, he did all Ada fabrics, and he has started stitching on, dyeing even weave. And so I bought some. I'll show you later. Okay, next. And then in April of 2025, Teresa Kogut's, I'm in her Patreon, and her Patreon for that month was all like moon themed, and I loved them so much. And so this is the tier 2, 3, and 4 pattern. It's called Moonlit. It's so freaking pretty. Look at the moon. Oh, it's so good. And so Sherry at Colorado Cross Stitcher every year does a cross stitch camp, which is just for fun. The months of June, July, and August, she gives you like a challenge, and then you start it and send her a picture showing that you started it, and then you stitch on it. If you finish, you can send her a picture of your finish, and she enters you in drawings. So anyway, I started this for June cross stitch camp, and then promptly forgot to enter the contest. But it's all fun. It's all in fun. And so I started it on. This is BeStitchMe 32 count coconut shell. And so a very small start with a very awesome needle minder. I have to have a matching needle minder. But it's been really fun to, it was really fun to work on. So I had a lot of silk in my stash from various things like random silks. And so I just kind of messed around and found colors I liked. And so far I've only used one of them. Funny thing is, have you ever, you try to, you know, get your floss ready and somehow actually what happened is I put it on a floss drop, and you know you're supposed to cut the ends, and every once in a while I forget to cut the ends, and if you don't cut the ends and you try to take a thread out, it becomes hopelessly tangled. So that's what all this stitching was I was working on the tangled bits that I had to cut, out. But anyway, it's looking very nice. What color was that? Gosh, I'll tell you what my colors are. It's a Karen Water Lilies in the color Sandstone. So it has like a kind of vague modeling, just a little bit. So I just had random stuff. I had Karen Wildflowers, which I think that's a cotton. So it's all random stuff. And then I did buy the classic color where it's Chesapeake Bay. I think that was one of her called fors. Chesapeake Bay. I had to buy it by the name. And then, what else is on here? Swaddle J. I think I had like a gray. And this should be pretty quick to stitch up. If I could stop starting new projects, I could actually finish them very quickly. How's that for revelations? Okay, and then another start. So I had a birthday in there since we've last spoken with each other. And I've been wanting to do this. I actually been planning this for a long time to start this on my birthday. This is Louisa Barney by Reflet de Soie. I have long loved this pattern, mostly because there is a cow at the bottom of it. Isn't she cute? I love all of this, all the fancy flowers and everything. So I had been wanting to get the silk conversion from Vicki Clayton Silks, which I did for my birthday, to me from me. And I ended up looking on Instagram, following the hashtag to see what fabric everyone used, and someone used a fabric I can't get. I think it was Lakeside. It was like a darker color of Lakeside. I forget the name. But of course, it's like nearly impossible to get Lakeside linen. But I was kind of snooping around my stash, and I found, oh, I always forget to find the little card with the name of the fabric on it. One moment. I just had a hilarious conversation with myself off camera, arguing over why I don't remember what fabric this is. So I will put it across the screen because I have to snoop around in my phone because I never keep track of anything. This is some really pretty fabric. I believe it's 32 count. And at any minute now I'm going to show you what it looks like. Okay, I started at the top left corner. Ooh, see, it's this. This is the name of the fabric. And I bought this a long time ago. I got like a half yard of it, which I needed I might have even gotten a whole yard. And funnily, like the fabric is beautiful, but it wasn't like a huge patch of it was not very modeled. And at the time I was a little disappointed, but now I'm glad because for this piece, I don't want it to be too modeled. So it's kind of perfect. And I know it looks crazy because it's on a dark fabric, and maybe I've made a terrible choice, but I think it's gonna look good. What's the worst that could happen? There was, interestingly enough, if you care about the details, so the Vicki Clayton conversion, the original pattern calls for Swaddle J, and then they give a DMC color for each Swaddle J color. And interestingly, the very first color I did, which was this brown here, so the Swaddle J silk, I even have it here somewhere. Could be a line too again. The Swaddle J silk, here it is. is a brown color, but then the DMC alternative they gave is not brown at all. It's like pink. So here's the difference. And so Vicki Clayton gave me the right color, but the pattern changed it to like this pink color. And you can tell if you look on Instagram on people's stitching, you can tell who's stitching on DMC and who's using silk. But it's still beautiful, so it's not like a big deal. But I wanted my threads to be brown. Or not my threads, it's like the sticks and the sticks and stuff of the flowers. So, but I'm not sure I have enough, because I used a leftover Vicki Clayton silk from another project, so I don't know that I have enough. So what I'm doing is, this pink here is that same color in the leaves. So if it's leaves, I'm doing pink, and if it's sticks, I'm doing brown. And then if I run out when I get down to the cow, because it's also in the cow and stuff, then I'll just use a different brown, because it won't matter. So, and this is, I'm stitching like they did back in the 1800s, because they would just run out of colors and pick another one. It's not a big deal. So anyway, it's kind of fun. It's coming out pretty. I'm very excited to have finally started it, because I've been wanting to for a long time. And that is Louisa Barney. I'll show you it again, because it's so pretty. And definitely go look on Instagram, because it's so beautiful, and people have chosen all different colors of fabric, and it's just a beautiful piece. It looks so good. But I'm going to go, so I started up here. I'm going to go straight down the border and right to the cow. That's my plan, because I can't stitch from the bottom up, but I can go down and go to the cow first. I think I'm going to leave the words. A lot of times I'll change the words, but I love these. I love the look of them. They look like the old, like you find old ads or old packaging, like really old flower bags and stuff. It looks like this kind of, I just think it's so pretty. And then I like her name, Louisa Barney. So I'm probably not going to change it. I might add my name or something, but I'm going to keep hers. But let's face it, that's for a long time in the future. We'll have flying cars by the time I finish that. Okay, my next start. So the Artsy Housewife has a Patreon, and this pattern made me join her Patreon. I'm very excited. I'm freaked out over this pattern. It is the Trash Panda. Look at him. Totally worth it. She has tons of other beautiful patterns. And like a lot of artists, when you join her Patreon, you get access to a secret shop, so you can go and buy the previous Patreon patterns that have not been released to the general public. And there's some in there that I have my eye on as well. But I got my Trash Panda. Oh God, he's so cute. So we have Beach Rat, of course, the seagull, and now Trash Panda. And I'm desperately hoping, please, I don't like to tell designers what to do, but please, I need a pigeon. I need a pigeon to complete my set. So just putting that out there. Okay. And let's see if past Wendy left what kind of fabric this is for future Wendy. I know it's not that. So I do remember it's an XJU Designs fabric, and it came in a fabric, like a fabric pack. I'll write it below with the name of it. But so it doesn't have a name. It was like in a pack of like a bundle of different ones. So the bundle has a name, but not the fabric. It's 32 count, because that's my jam. And I loved it because it kind of looks like, in the nicest, most respectful way, it looks like trash. It kind of looks like a burnt piece of paper or something. So I love it. I think it's perfect. And I think it goes nicely with all the colors. I'm trying to put them together and failing. Okay, here we go. Do you like my raccoon needle minder? So, oh, this is going to be so fun. And I'm using all the called for everything. I may not do, here it is again. I don't think I'm going to do the outer border. I might just do the inner border. And so, but I left enough space on the fabric. So if I change my mind, I can do the inner border, or the outer. I can do the other border if I change my mind. Very excited to continue that one. Okay, and this was a big start I did with, I have a group of Stitchy friends, and we all decided to start this pattern along with Tyler from Willitstitch. He is also working on this, and he's much further along than me, which I think is rude. Slow down, Tyler. Okay, Tyler is also my cousin. We discovered our grandfathers had the same last name, so to be safe, we decided to agree that we're cousins, just in case. So anyway, this is a Hannah Campbell 1838 by Hands Across the Sea. And to be honest, when I first stumbled across this pattern, I wasn't that excited about it until it's hard to see because it's, you know, it's a big piece and it's a tiny picture. But and I will try to put some pictures in. The hats on the hats website, you can see close-ups of the detail of the finished piece, and it is incredible. It has a lot of specialty stitches, like the house has some seeds. I don't even tell if you can, I don't know if you can see from the picture even. And it's got some sparkly flaws, and there's a lot of animals over one. See the kitty cats right there? They're kitties. And there's a bunny. So the more you look at it, the more detail it has. It's amazing. I also love the way she did the alphabet. It looks like this says moo. So I'm leaving that in there. I may change the quote to something else, but again, we have a long time until then. Check out the blackbirds in the tree, and there's a little bee skep right there. Sorry for my gross fingernails. So we all started this the very end of June, and for a bunch of us, and for me, including me, it's my first time using 103 threads, and so we decided we wanted like something fancy to put our threads in. So this is one of those sewing boxes from Amazon that were all the rage. People bought, not a sewing box, it's a jewelry box from Amazon, and then you can change it into, so this is my little 103 holder. So far, I really like stitching with these. And like I said, I didn't get super far. So I just want to say, 4 of us have started. 5 of us are gonna be stitching together. 4 of us started that day, and all of us had to frog. I think the pattern might be haunted, so just as a warning. When I got my, see, I have to have matching needle minders. Hands Across the Sea. All these needle minders, most of them come from Mad for Minders on Etsy. Okay, and she has a ton, she has like 3 different kinds of Hands Across the Sea needle minders if you need one. So try to get in there close. So this is a 45 count fabric, and so I'm using 1 strand of the 103s over 2 threads, and the fabric is it's a legacy linen 45 count scriptorium, and I got this from Hobby House Needleworks. They have a very nice fabric selection. Hopefully you can see that. So I changed the blue. On this fabric, the blue was too light, the blue it called for. So this is the called for darker blue. And you can even see on the pattern, like it's a really light blue. So I bought a couple other blues, and when I get to the darker blue, I'll just play around with them and see. But it's been fun, except for the frogging. It's not a problem of the pattern, except that the pattern is haunted. But it's a very simple piece of the pattern. There's no reason. It's probably because it's 45 count, and I can't see it. But it'll be all right. Just have to get used to it. Okay. Oh, is that the end of my starts? No, there's another one. I seem to have lost it. Here it is. Okay, so went to Barnes & Noble, and I always go right to the magazine section because you can get Cross Stitcher magazine. I love this magazine. If I win the lottery, the first thing I'm doing is subscribing and then finding all the back issues. But this, look at this pattern on the front. So I came home and immediately, I had all the supplies I needed. I'll show you a picture better. So, and this is the June 2025 issue number 422 of Cross Stitcher. There's a ton of good. So this is called Colorful Casas. And I think it's, who's it by? It's an Emma Condon. So here's a bigger, here's the whole page. That's what it's called. And here's a bigger picture of it. I just really needed a sunny, bright, summery. And look at the boats down here at the bottom. Oh, it's so cute. And there's a bunch of little cats. There's one, there's one. So I decided to do it on, I've got a bunch of the Easy Guide fabric, which is like an even weave, and that's got the grid marks put in it. And this is 28 count. Sorry, there's threads everywhere. It's thread chaos. This is 28 count, so I'm doing it one. I want to do a whole X this time. So this is one thread over one fabric thread. But it's been really fun so far. Sorry, I feel like the lighting is terrible. So I feel fancy stitching with one thread now. Now that I have learned the pin stitch and the one thread loop start, both of which are fun and easy to do. So that's that one. Okay, so that's my 6 starts. I have 3 planned starts. One of which was also going to be a birthday start, and I just got distracted by other things. So, which one should I show you first? Here's the one I kitted up and was going to start. This is Velvet to Linen by Kathy Barrick. Oh, I love this piece so much. And this is another one I wanted to do. I love Vicki Clayton silks. They're just really nice. So I'm going to do that on, this is from that same pack that I'm doing the raccoon one on. This is another fabric from that, so it's Extra U Designs. You know what? It might be Nicholas Flamel. I'll put something right here. So it came in a pack, and they don't have an individual name. But this is 32 count, and I don't have the silks in here, but I got the Vicki Clayton silk conversion, so I think that'll look pretty. It's hard to see, but it's got a little bit of modeling in it. So that's one planned start. And then I will discuss in haul an eBay excursion, but this is part of the stuff I got on eBay. This is a Perman of Copenhagen kit that I found from a nice lady, I think somewhere around here, one of the neighboring states, so she was nearby. But she said she bought this in, I think she said she bought it in Denmark. And so it's a really nice kit. It comes with linen, and this is DMC thread. And the windows and the sign, like, see how the signs have like this one, there's this ship. These are all done over one, and so you get lots of extra detail. I'm really excited. There's so much detail in this. And then down here, see how the water is? There's green water, but then this bottom part of the water and the sky are meant to be the bare fabric. And so even though I'm glad to have this linen, I'm going to use a different linen. This is, sorry for the crinkling. This is BeStitchMe Winter Mix. And I think this will look, here it is with the, see? Oh, I'm not good at this. Okay. So that, it's really close to the color of that blue house, but there's a lot of other colors in between, so it's not going to disappear. And then the blue will go with that green. I think it'll look good. And here's see the green thread. This green that you can see on top. That's going to be over the water. I think it's going to look good. So it's the same count. It's 32 count linen. So I'm starting this really soon because I'm really excited. I've never seen that pattern before. I just found it randomly. Okay, my last start. Oh, I can't show this to you because it's just the pattern. But what I will show is there's a lady on Instagram, and she is in Norway, and I wrote down her stuff. Stephanie Reinhardt Kunst on Instagram is doing an art project to support Palestine. And so there's a quick deadline, but it's a small project. So the challenge is, and the only rules are, the size of it needs to be 12 by 12 centimeters, which is approximately 4.7 inches. And it needs to be mounted on either paper or cardboard, but it can be any medium. So I'm going to stitch something. My friend Adam discovered this, and a bunch of us are going to do it together. So it can be anything as long as the colors you do it in are red, white, black, and green, which are the colors of the Palestinian flag. And so she needs to receive these in Norway by August 31st. So just work the mailing into, if you want to join along, work the mailing into your deadline. But it should stitch up quick. I will flash this. This is a free pattern by Tatriz Traditions, and Tatriz is the name of the embroidery style from Palestine. And there's a lot of folks out there trying to quickly save these patterns because they're likely to go extinct for obvious reasons. So you can find them, if you just Google Tatriz cross stitch, you can find a lot of these. This particular website, tatriztraditions.com, they have lots of neat free patterns. So I'm going to flash this really quick. It is a free pattern, but it's still copyrighted. So, but it's the flag, but it's done in a really pretty way, with there's 2 shades of green and 2 shades of red. And I'm probably going to add some words around mine as well. I'm not sure what yet. So that's a very soon start, because I need to get going and get it in the mail. I'm going to do it on 32 count, plain, just white linen, and then that'll be the white of the flag. And then I had from Stash, here's a Forbidden Fiber Co. for the red, and then I had some leftover leather bound. The Forbidden Fiber Co. is called Kiss Her Once for Me. So those are the reds, and then the greens are Color and Cotton Fairway. And I think this is just DMC 319. So those will look good together. And then Ecru in black. Lofty plans. Okay, I better do that one first before I get into anything else, so I can finish it. So I'll put the information below if you want to join in or go to her. I would say just go to her Instagram and look at her. She's got a contact information and an address, etc. I don't want to give out another person's address, but she has to give it out, of course, so you can send her stuff. And she's putting it into a giant art exhibition that will be shown in Oslo, Norway. I wish I could go with this stitching. I would love to visit Oslo. Okay, so, all right, that's on to my next page of my... Oh, and there's hashtags, so I'll put them on screen that go with it. I don't think hashtags work anymore, but you can use them to search things, so there's that. Okay, we mentioned this quilt here, so I will talk about this quilt while putting a video over my voice of me showing it. I showed this a while ago. I showed it in progress, and then never talked about it again. And I sometimes I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes I start ambitious projects and then never finish them. But I finished this one. So this was if you didn't watch that episode, this is a gift from my husband who loves cryptids. We both love cryptids, but I thought it would be fun. I saw this pattern, the pattern with the cards, I think on Etsy. Someone was selling like a knitting bag, and I was like, what is that? So the fabric line is by Riley Blake, and it's called Legends of the National Parks. And there's a whole line, so I bought most of it. You can get it all over the place. Anyone that sells quilting fabric, I bought from several different Etsy shops. You can get it by the 1/8 yard, 1/4 yard, 1/2 yard, whatever. So I bought, then I discovered that giant panel right in the middle, had to have the panel. And then I discovered, when you see the back, there's another panel of like 4 smaller pieces. So I didn't know what I was doing. I just bought a bunch. There is another panel of Bigfoot, and it's more like orange and yellow in the background. But I didn't like the orange and yellow. Steve's favorite color is green, so I wanted the green one. So I had no idea what I was doing, and I just kind of winged it. It actually took me, I didn't realize with the cards, because I didn't want to cut the cards in any way, that turned it into basically multiple panels on one quilt, which was a bad idea. So I spent 2 full 8-hour days with like pencil and paper and measuring things and designing the quilt, mostly because I don't know what I'm doing. But I think I did a good job figuring it out, and that's why it's so large. It's meant to be a lap quilt for the couch, but it's about the size of a twin bed. My poor husband, he's not super tall. He's like 5'8", but to me that's very tall. And so his feet are always sticking out from under, you know, blankets and quilts and stuff. So I was like, well, I'm going to get one that his feet won't stick out of. And so I was like, well, how tall is he? Anyway, it got really big and out of control, but I think I did a good job of kind of planning it out for being a complete amateur. The piecing was the easiest part, and then the quilting, like actually the back was a pain too, because I had to piece a giant backing together with another panel. But then quilting together, I don't have a very clean floor because I have 3 dogs, so you can't just put stuff on the floor. So I ended up using a table, and I watched some videos on how you have to put a quilt sandwich together. There's the front, the back, and then your batting in the middle, and you make a sandwich, and you have to make it taut so that it doesn't get bound up under the machine, you know, so it doesn't get all wrinkled under there. So anyway, that took an entire day of just putting the sandwich together with pins, and then I ran out of pins and I had to use sewing thread. It was a disaster, but I think I did okay at the quilting. And I'm not being humble. I'm being truthful. The quilting is terrible. It will stay together. It's not going to come unraveled, but it's not going to win any awards, and that's okay. I mean, he's not going to catch his toe in anything, but there's some pretty ugly spots. But it's actually better for me doing the straight lines because you can use a walking foot on your machine, and it walks the fabric through. But anyway, so I didn't do as much like fancy stitching, but I wanted to do the rays of sun coming down next to the big foot, and I outlined every single card. I was very proud of myself. So the best part is the binding. That is my favorite part, is what you do, the edging on the sides. And normally you do another long strip of fabric and you sew it on, but I'd use the technique where you cut the backing bigger and you kind of wrap it around and fold it under to be the binding. So it came out good. It took me like, I think 4 or 5 full day sessions of quilting and then 4 evenings binding. Anyway, it's done. I'm waiting for a pen to come in the mail. There's pens that you can write on fabric with and it stays. So I'm waiting for the pen, and I'll make a little label and sew it onto the back to cover up an error I made on the back. So with all else fails, sew something over top of your mistake and no one will know it's there. So that's his quilt. He's very excited. You might have noticed it's got some fuzzies on it. It needs to go in the wash. It's got fuzzies from manufacturing, but I want to wait to put the label on so that they all go in the wash together, because it will shrink a little bit. I know you're supposed to wash your quilting fabric first, but I didn't want to. It'll be fine. It's just for hanging on the couch. But he loves it. I love it. And it's finished, and I'm done. Okay, I should have brought up sooner. Maybe I'll just edit and move it around in the video. Next weekend, so I think it's the 19th and 20th of July, is Midsummer Stitch, and I will be there. I hope y'all will be there. I do have a huge work deadline, so I won't be there as much as I am during the Jingle Ball, but I will still be there. It should be really fun. I'm super excited seeing all the stuff that Steph has been teasing us with that we're in store for. Oh, and I have my very first Stitchy Kindness, and I have a bunch of it. My friend Sarah, who's in our Stitchy group, she's stitching Heather Campbell 1838 with us. She sent us all scissor fobs that she made, and they're so cute. I'm trying to lay these out straight so you can see them. So one says X Stitch, and one has my name on it. This one has a cute little strawberry, and this one has an adorable Look at this frog. He did not turn out to be a good luck frog because maybe he's the reason that we all had to frog our projects so much. It was ridiculous. Anyway, thank you, Sarah. That's so nice. And I've got one on one of my bags, and the other one I had near me. Maybe I should put him away so he doesn't. We'll see. I'll do experiments and see if he's the source of the bad luck or not. And then several friends were so kind and generous on my birthday. It was not necessary, but sent me 1, 2, 3 Stitch gift cards, and my husband did too. So everyone knows what I like, evidently. I'm so grateful, but that was not necessary. But I did buy a lot of stuff, so I can show you. I know, so we're coming to the haul portion. I know some of you don't like to see haul, which I completely understand, but you might want to see the first thing I have to show you. So stick around for that. And I do, at the end, you might want to fast forward. If you don't want to see haul, just fast forward to the next section. But anyway, let me show you one thing I got on eBay that I think you'll all like. It's a finished piece. It's actually crewel embroidery. It's not cross stitch. It's a vintage piece, but it's amazing. So a little bit of the story behind it. My husband came home from being away for work, and he was using my eBay account to search for dirt bike parts, which is fine, but now my algorithm has been destroyed, and eBay thinks I want to look at motor oil and air filters and stuff, and obviously that cannot stand. So I obviously had to go and search for some cross-stitch stuff to repair my algorithm. And I was like, well, what should I look for on eBay? And I thought, you know, a lot of stitchers have bird walls or sampler walls, and I've been very jealous of that. And I would love a bird wall, but I also feel like I am destined to have a hideous rabbit wall. So I thought, let's look for ugly rabbit vintage cross-stitch kits on eBay. But you can't search for that because someone's yuck is someone else's yum. So I was just searching through all the vintage kits, and boy, did I find some doozies. And I'm not going to show pictures because, you know, I mean this to be fun, not to be like making fun of. And some people, anyway, and some of them are very cute. So there are actually some cute things. So I put all this stuff in my cart, and I was going to buy it. And I was like, I don't actually want to sew this or stitch it, or because there was embroidery and needlepoint, all kinds of stuff. And then I was like, well, maybe like there were a few that I would actually hang on my wall, but I don't want to make them. I don't want to touch that yarn. And so I was like, well, let's search for pre-made ones, like, you know, old vintage stuff. And wow, there's some hideous stuff out there if you search for it. And some of them were a little upsetting. It's rabbits. Why do people think that's... Anyway, that's not nice. I mean, this is very vintage, older stuff. So it's really fun to look at, though. Go and search places like eBay or Mercari and look for finished pieces. It's fun to look at. Anyway, I get to the very last page and the very last item, and I saw this piece, and it's not hideous. It's beautiful. So I bought it. But this is such a find. So on the back, this is a professionally framed piece. And on the back is written, "To my grandson Ryan, with all my love, Grandpa Wes Browd, May 1984. And Grandpa Wes stitched this. I hope Ryan appreciated it because it's pretty magnificent. And the thing that gives me chills, I mean, I don't know, like you can find patterns and coincidences and everything, but my grandpa's name was Wes. Different grandpa from the one I have in common with Tyler, the other grandpa. His name was Wes, and it just warms my heart to think of this guy making this for his grandson, who he obviously was excited about and loved, and I hope Ryan appreciated it. And I can also tell, this is very well, it's probably from a kit, it's very well stitched. So this is not Grandpa Wes's first project. And I'm going to talk later about how important art is. Grandpa Wes clearly stitched many things, probably just for fun, for himself, but it gave him practice to do a really good job on this piece, which is just, it's really cute. A warning to my friend Terry, this has a rabbit on it. And if you don't like mice, if anyone else, it's a rabbit and a mouse. So if you don't like those, Look away. Okay, so it's going to be very glary. And this was professionally framed in Covington, Louisiana, but I bought it from a guy in Maryland. So it's been all over the place. Anyway, it's going to be some glare, and I apologize. But look at him. And the rabbit looks like an old man, doesn't it? It's so cute. And there's the mouse with the carrot. And here's how I know that Grandpa Wes stitched it, because if you look under the rabbit's foot, there's a W and a B, and he put his initials in it. I love the mouse. I'm gonna get in close. Can you see the mouse's tail? And the bunny's tail is right above the mouse's tail, and it's clearly done in you know what I'm saying, French knots. I mean, look at this. This is not his first piece. So I'm thrilled to pieces to have this, and it's going to hang right above. It's going to hang right there, so I can look at, because this is where I sit when I do I work from home some days, so I'm going to be able to look at it all the time. So if you're out there, Grandpa Wes, I love your piece, and I'm going to take good care of it. So that's one of many things I bought on eBay. I didn't go too crazy, but I bought that kit from Permanent of Copenhagen, and then someone was selling this Jeanette Douglas pattern, A Home in the Woods, with a whole bunch of the threads. So here it is, and it comes with this little pattern as well. And then they sent it with some linen, and then a bunch of the called forth. Not all of them, but quite a few of them are here. So I'm excited to start that. Maybe not right away. This is the one cross stitch kit I bought, and thank you Stephanie from Cross Stitch the Globe, because she did a whole video on don't pay full price on eBay if you don't have to. Make them an offer, and I've never in my life bargained or haggled price. I just pay what it is, and I was so scared, but I was like, I don't want to pay the full price for this thing, but I did it, and I got $8 off. It's my very first time, probably my last time haggling. Anyway, this is an old vintage cross stitch kit, and this rabbit looks, quite frankly, he looks like he might be humping that watering can. So, and if I ever get around to stitching it, I'm going to put little motion squiggles up over his tail. Because why not? This is a vintage kit. It comes with the mat is printed, and it came with the frame and everything. So super excited. So that'll be fun. I'll go on my weird rabbit wall. And then I've been trying not to buy as many patterns. I know it doesn't look like it, but if I'm afraid I'll forget to buy it, I go ahead and buy it. So the Primitive Needle has released, the daughter of the designer is releasing all their patterns, and there was one that I really wanted, but I was not going to spend $300 for it. But now you can get them on PDF for an affordable cost. So I bought 3. This one I didn't even know about, but I just couldn't resist it. It's called Hornbook Angel. I just really like it. I like the letters. I love the weird angel at the top. That'll stitch out really quick too. And then I've loved this one for a long time. Arranging my giant stack of papers. I printed the whole thing out. This is Witch's Hollow. I think this is a pretty popular one with all the, I like how it's like different rows of stuff going on. So I got that one. And then this is the one I've really wanted for a long time. This is Salem Remembered. And it's the names of all the people who were frankly murdered for being witches, which is ridiculous. So I like how serious this pattern is, because these people were murdered for no reason. So I really would like to start that soon. I'm probably just gonna use my own colors, not worry about picking colors from it, because it's mostly just black anyway. I might use a fancy black, like a variegated or something. a lightly variegated, because I want to see the words. I think Pam from Just Keep Stitching is working on this and kind of researching each person as she stitches their name, which I really like too. So I appreciate that. I'm really glad that pattern is available again. Okay, so more magazines I picked up on my jaunt to Barnes & Noble. The Halloween issue of Just Cross Stitch. Sorry, my brain died for a minute there. There's some cute patterns in here. And then this is the July 2025 issue of Cross Stitcher. So I got that one. And then you've seen most of my other purchases. These are the other things I got from Mad for Minders. I love Mad for Minders on Etsy. So there's that one. Then Stephanie at Cross Stitch the Globe. She's been doing a lot of destashing, and now she's been buying vintage cross stitch stuff like in junk shops or thrift stores, and then reselling them to sort of get them, save them. There's some really good vintage patterns out there. I had her last video. I had so much fun watching that video where she was showing piles and piles of stuff she got from various places, and she showed one, and I was like, I went right to her Etsy shop and I was going to buy it, and I was so sad because someone else had already bought it. And then I was watching her show this book, and I was like, wait a minute, I think I already have that. So I already had this. I forgot about it. Carousel Horses in Cross Stitch by Donna Cooler. I was like, wait a minute, those patterns look familiar. So it's like page after page of different carousel horses. So I left the book out because why not just start it? I have it. I have all the DMC floss. Let's see if I can show it. It's the October one. I like a lot of them, but this is my favorite. And naturally, I can't find it. I think it would be right before December. Okay, 1 minute while I page. Oh, here it is. Look at this. This is such a cool pattern. I can't see. If you can see, well, hopefully you can see that. Look at the scene on top, and then there's a scaredy cat. So I might start that soon, because why not? I don't have enough whips, right? Do you ever look at yourself and go, I don't have enough whips? Yeah, so just start some more. So anyway, then she showed this. This is Cross Stitch and Country Crafts magazine from March, April 1994. And the funny thing is, she showed it, and then I was reaching for the remote to back it up because I was like, ooh. And she called me out. She says, Wendy, you might like this one. She knows me too well. This is what's on the cover. But then I realized I had this already as well. I already have this one. That rabbit is terrifying. I mean, look, I know we all have different tastes, but look at it. It's got red eyes. So I'm obviously going to stitch this at some point. So I have almost every issue of this magazine, but I'm missing a few. But I had this one. And then she showed something else that I liked, and I already had that. So I'm like, how much stuff do I have? This is embarrassing. But she had 3 things I didn't already have. So I purchased, this is Lavender and Lace, The Spirit of Christmas. And I think Tyler's working on this as well, unless I'm mistaken. This has been in my wish list for a while. So I was like, well, I'll just buy it. So I got that one. And then she had, this is by Carolyn Meacham. It's called Irises. And it's just a really pretty, irises are my favorite flower. And it looks fairly simple to stitch up. So I got that. And then, and this is, it's called Cyclamen by Susan Stafford Helming. She must have been famous for doing fancy flowers. If you don't know what a cyclamen is, I got really into houseplants, maybe, I don't know, a few years ago. And so I would like haunt everywhere there were plants, I would look. So even like our grocery store has like a very small floral section, but during Christmas, these always come out and they're everywhere at Christmas. And they have this beautiful pattern on their leaves. And I don't care about the flowers, but the leaves like amazed me. And so I bought one or two. But the thing is, I think so I watch a lot of British television, and weirdly, like, these are always like in someone's kitchen window in the background of British TVs, because there was a while when I was so obsessed with houseplants that I would just notice them on, I still do, like TV. I love watching 70s TV shows because they have tons of houseplants everywhere. But I lost my train of thought. I got excited about houseplants again. If you watch old-ish episodes of Columbo, everybody's got houseplants in that show. So anyway, I think these do really well in Great Britain with the climate or whatever. They do not do well in Colorado. And so I couldn't keep them alive more than a couple months, and it was very sad, like, no matter what I tried. But I would keep trying. So anyway, the last two that I got, I was getting better, and I kept them alive for a year and a half. And also, I could never remember the name. And so I knew it was a complicated C name, so I kept calling them coelacanths. I'm going to go buy another coelacanth and see if I can keep it alive. So anyway, that's my very long-winded. I can't just show you a pattern. I have to go on and on about something random. So I really like cyclamens. That's my point. I should probably stop buying them because it's just mean. They don't live very long. Okay. And then we're not even to, I'm so sorry. Maybe you like looking at all this stuff. And it's kind of all jumbled. Some of it is stuff I got from 123 Stitch. Some of it is stuff I bought other times, because it's been a couple months. In trying to decide what fabric to do Heather Campbell 1838 on, I bought a bunch of fabric. This is Dames of the Needle, which I had never tried. And this is called Stained Gray. So I thought that was very pretty. This is a 40 count. So I bought a bunch of fabrics for that pattern. I think this is another one. This is one I had in my stash, but it's in the pile here. This is Fox and Rabbit Saltbush, which is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Maybe I didn't have it in. I don't know. Maybe I bought it later. This is Weeks Dye Works Gray. So they're like, here they are together. Oh, they're so pretty. Oh my gosh. This is, oh yeah, Cedar River Linens Maple Bar. That's a really nice fabric as well. These are some classy fabrics. I don't know that I'm a classy gal, but these are classy fabrics. This is Fox and Rabbit Dirt Track, which I have long loved. Oh, it's so pretty. It's got really nice modeling in it. And then I bought this because Tyler said it's his favorite fabric, and I wanted to try it. This is Fiber on a Whim Cream and Sugar. It is very pretty, and it looks like it would go well with lots of different patterns. And these are all 40 counts. I had another stack. So I bought a bunch of patterns from 123 Stitch. I had to have the wolf. Oh, there's a reason I bought this pattern. I have to show you. I've already talked your ear off for an hour. Why not keep going? So I love wolves anyway, and I love this pattern, but it also reminds me of a book from my childhood. It's called Great Wolf and the Good Woodsman. It's written by Helen Hoover, if you want to look for it. It's long out of print, and so I can't show you the whole book because it's still copyrighted though. But the storyline is that there was this old hermit who lived in the woods and fed the animals and was their friend, etc. And Christmas time, he gets he sprains his ankle, and the animals are like, "What do? We want to help our friend." And none of them can figure out how to go to the neighbor without getting shot, right? And how to convince the neighbor to follow him. But there's this wolf who is also a friend of the woodsman. They don't really get into, it's a children's book, so yeah, what does the wolf eat? I don't know. But we don't talk about that part. But the wolf says, I'll go next door and I'll figure out a way to get the neighbor to come. So the wolf goes and talks to the neighbor's dog, and the neighbor's dog gets the neighbor to come and help the woodsman. It's a great story, and it's beautifully illustrated. This was what I wanted to be when I grew up when I was a child and I learned what a hermit was. Like, you know, they present it as being so sad, but I was like, that's my favorite thing. That's what I want. I want to be a hermit in the woods. So here, look at this. Huh? That's just what it reminded me of. I love it. This is a great book. If you can find it like on eBay or something, I highly recommend it. It all ends well at the end, and they don't discuss what the wolf is eating, because the wolf does get a bowl of meat for Christmas. I love children's books. Okay, so anyway, sorry, I had a weird childhood. Okay, so I thought either one of these might look good. This is wet sand and coconut shell. Didn't I just show you something else with coconut shell? I wonder if I bought it twice. I feel like I did. Can't get them together. These are a little darker than the called for. And I know they're similar to the wolf's fur, except I think he's outlined entirely in white. So I think he'll still show up really good. I'm leaning towards the lighter one, the coconut shell. But I really, and it's not very big, so I could start that too and finish it. Right? Okay, and then I bought, so Stitchman Darcy, who also has a YouTube. If you haven't seen him, I love his channel. He designs cross-stitch patterns and he dyes fabric. And like I said, he's recently switched to, or maybe I didn't say, he was dyeing exclusively Aida, but he has branched out to even weave, and so I had to try it. These were the 3 available. I wanted True Grit really bad. Darcy, please, can you make some True Grit, please? Okay, thanks. So, Gray Expectations. I'm trying to read it backwards in the camera. I can't do it. Secrets and Lilacs. And Clockwork Orange. He has great names too. So I'm excited to try these. He did a really good job with his Aida, so I'm sure the even weave is going to be good as well. This next purchase is the fault of Betsy from Betzlina Stitches, because she told me she was going to stitch something on radioactive, and I was like, what's that? And then I looked, and then I bought. I had to have it. I had to buy it. Look at it. Look how cool this fabric is. So I bought 2 different counts. This is 32 count Lugana. Sorry, my nose itches. And this is 36 count opal linen, so it's sparkly. Oh, I love this. I love this so much. It's so pretty. What am I doing with it? I don't know. I'm looking at it. Okay. There's more stuff in here. Then I bought some patterns. This is not a rabbit. It is a cat dressed up like a rabbit by December Stitches. Hop and roll. It still will fit very nicely on my wall. Oh, I love it so much. I love it. Some of us were discussing inappropriate things we could have in its other hand. Sorry, I had to sneeze, and I'm sure now my nose is red. That's a fun cutaway. Okay. And then, and my eyes are watering. I had to pause a minute to cry. Okay, this is I've been wanting to do a drawn thread pattern for a long time. I see people stitching them, and I get very jealous. So this is the Garden Gate. And this has everything I love in it. I'm trying to get you in there so you can see it. All the little creatures and flowers and stuff. Here's the name of it. And I went ahead, since it was my birthday, and I hit the little button that they have on 123 Stitch that says, give me all the stuff, and I kitted it up. And it's got a whole bunch of different threads in it. There's dinky dyes, NPI silk. I see some weeks in here. That might be it, but tons and tons of colors. I'm really excited to start that. And then I've shown this one in the past. This is that Prairie Schooler Boo to You. I stitched this guy and this guy really tiny on, like I did one of them on 56 and one on I think 36 count over one, and turned them into dingly things you put on your bag. What do you call them? Zipper pulls. And I saw someone had stitched a Prairie Schooler like really big. So I want to stitch this cat like that. I want to stitch him on, this is 11 count Ada. So it'll be gigantic. And I got pearl cotton. I had some pearl cotton from somewhere else. I have to dig it out. I have like the other colors. So these are the two other colors I need to do the cat. And I know it doesn't look very orange, but it's a muted kind of orange on him. So I'm going to stitch that big. And then I was wondering if I should try to coffee dye this or something to make it more interesting. Or we'll see. Dyeing fabric is intriguing to me, but it also feels like cooking, and I hate cooking. I hate cooking and I'm bad at it. But I might do that. I think coffee dyeing or tea dyeing, whatever, is easy enough. My husband's been drinking this, it's hibiscus tea. I don't know, it looks gross, but the the water turns bright purple, and I'm kind of curious what it would do to fabric. I'm like wondering if I should steal some of this tea. Anyway, I bought Peace on Earth by Leela's Studio. I definitely will start this around Christmas time, maybe. It's, God, it's so pretty. And it's all called for DMC. And then I saw someone stitch this. I normally it's so hard when you're shopping online. Sometimes you just can't see a pattern. But I've seen this stitched. I mean, it doesn't look like much if you're scrolling up through a tiny picture. But this is Sleepy Hollow by the Cricket Collection. And I'll try to get you in there. It's like a triptych. And it's just so pretty. And also, I don't know about y'all, but when I was in elementary school, back in the dark ages, when the teachers didn't want to teach for whatever reason, they would show us movies. Like the kind on the projector where you had to put the film around and wind it through the projector. Anyway, they would show us The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which was like a cartoon version of Sleepy Hollow. I loved that movie so much. And this version reminds me of that movie. And to this day, if I spill salt, I will throw it over my shoulder. Not because of superstition, but because of that movie. Okay, anyway, I finally joined the Fabric of the Month Club from BeStitchMe. And I used one of them already. And these are, let's see, this is May and June. So I don't think I'm giving anything away because if you have it, you've already gotten it. This is Grog and Ocean Depths. Can you tell? I think BeStitchMe is my favorite fabric dyer. Oh my gosh. And this is June. This is Dusk. Maybe it's one of those fabric. I think it was the sand that I showed you was the other June one. Wet Sand. I think that's the other June one. Yes. I'm so organized and prepared to film. And the funny thing is, so I started out with 32 count for both clubs, and then I was like, you know, I forgot that I can stitch on 40 count and 36 count. Maybe I should switch it up. Well, I go to switch, and I had already switched to 36 count, but I don't remember doing that. But I did it. I mean, she didn't make a mistake. I did it, but I don't remember doing it. Is this what happens when you get old and you just start? I wish I could, like, maybe if I could, like, work a second job and not remember doing it, that would be great. Anyway, Shepherd's Needle, which is I forgot where they are. They're a cross-stitch shop. I'll put here. I got some random email from them that they were having a sale. And then I told some of my friends, and so we spent the rest of the day just frantically scrolling through their website and buying stuff. So they had tons of these fabric remnants, just like little weird pieces. Like this is I love Steinbeck. It's a needle and flax Steinbeck, and I bought 2 pieces. So this is 36 count, and it's like, this is a more normal size. This is 18 by 26. But this piece is 10 inches by 23 inches. Oh, I love Steinbeck. This is, I don't know what HDF is, but it's chocolate milk. What fabric is HDF? It's probably something obvious. Oh, that's hand-dyed fabrics. This is hand-dyed fabrics by Stephanie. Chocolate milk. And this piece is 33 by 7 inches. So, but it'll be like a nice little, I could do a belt pull, or you can do, you know, smalls, or bookmarks, or a tie. A cross-stitch tie. This is Canary. It just says Witcheled Canary. And this is probably my favorite fabric. This is Kermit. Every time I see Kermit, I try to buy a little bit of it. This is a tiny piece. And then Witcheled Dirty. I thought that was pretty. What is this? Bewitched. Hand-dyed by Stephanie. That's really pretty. And this is like 11 by 20. It's a weird size, but that's okay. And this is, I can't read that. Oh, Vintage Stormy Night. And this is just a navy. Sometimes you just want a little bit of plain navy fabric. And then, God, there's still more stuff in here. I'm almost to the bottom. This is another, this was, the one I showed you, Heather Campbell, is my first hats that I've ever stitched. And then I also found this one. This is Tyler's Fault. Jane Fides or Fides? Because I didn't see this, and then he showed it to me, and I had to have it. Because it's got weird birds all over it. Oh, and there's a cat. There's a cat stalking the birds. I love this one. I don't always love samplers. You probably noticed I don't do a ton of samplers. They're beautiful, and I love to see other people stitch them, but sometimes they look like I wouldn't enjoy really stitching them. But this one I really like. So I got that one, and then this one. Okay. This is another hats. It's called Hannah Gaskell 1823. Get ready, this one's a ride. I'm not going to stitch the whole thing, and I'll get in close in a minute, but here it is. And so if you want to look it up online, I love the kid riding a dog and this weird swan. This building is clearly haunted. It actually looks like a factory. This, love it. Just love it. This piece is so cool. I'm not going to stitch Touchdown Jesus. I'll cut that part out. And I'll just make the border go across here. Yeah. So that'll be fun. And then this one's been on my list forever. I love it so much. The Orange Tree Sampler by Carriage House Samplings, because I'm a sucker for an orange cat. This is a pretty small, so this will stitch up really fast. So I got him. And then this was one of the sale pieces is Prairie Schoolers. This is a Prairie Village 2 and a Prairie Village 1, because why would I show them to you in order? But I thought they were cool. And then this is Silver Creek Samplers Rainbow Crossing. I'm not going to read it because I'll start crying. I'm going to stitch this in honor of the many pets in my life that have broken my heart. Here, you read it. You read it, because I don't want to cry on camera. But I like the sentiment. This is a good. I've seen this sentiment a lot of places, but I like their execution of it. Almost to the end. Good Lord, I forgot about these. This was another one on sale, so I couldn't resist it because I've wanted it for a while. This is I'm gonna jiggle the camera by accident. Everything's falling over. There's piles of stuff anyway, this is Jardin Privé, and it's a set of 3 samplers au bouquets. I don't know how to pronounce that, but so this is the first one, and this is the second one. Look at that blue house. Doesn't that so fun to stitch? And then this one, and then they show you all together. It looks like this. I love it. And then I had to have this is, I guess there was a series from a few years ago, Summer at the Shore, and this is by Cottage Garden Samplings. This is number 8. This is, look at him, he's so cute. I love me a seagull. And this is, oh, it's the same series. This is number 3, First Signs of Spring. I also love robins. I'll show them to you up close there. Okay. Oh, there's one more. Another Silver Creek Samplers. Always be a lighthouse. Shine your beacon bright. Guide every soul adrift at sea throughout their darkest night. I like that too. Very cute. Okay, so the last thing I bought this a while ago. Another Flosstuber, and I forgot her name again. I had subscribed to her long ago, and then I lost track of her when I switched YouTube accounts. And I found her again. YouTube finally showed her to me again. She's a Russian citizen living in China, and she does beautiful things. And she showed this book, and I got jealous, and I had to go looking for it. And oh gosh, it's in Japanese, so I forget what it's called. I'll have to find my eBay. I bought it from, not eBay. I found it on Etsy, so I will link that Etsy shop. And so it doesn't matter. It's a cross stitch book, so you don't need to read it. But it's in Japanese, and I will put the name of the book up. It's this artist who did all these paintings. I'll show you. There's a page with their paintings, and then someone rendered them into cross stitch. And so all of these are patterns in the book. They're just so neat, and there's tons of them. So let's find a good one. This one was the one. Oh, I have to cover this up. Just a moment. I'll cover this up with another pattern. Okay, so this is the one she was going to start. Oh, it's so pretty. It's just different too. It reminds me a little bit of the paintings from The Little Prince. Remember that book? Here's one. This is hard to show with. Here's one with a giant teddy bear. It's just fun. Lots of backstitch. It's a beautiful book. It was like, it's kind of expensive because when you get all the shipping from Japan and everything. But it's kind of worth it. This one I would not stitch on red fabric, but it's cute as hell. All the little cats in a row. So it was worth it. There's like tons of patterns in here. And there's even little small ones. Here's a little girl dressed up like a witch. So cute. So one day, and then in the back, it's all in Japanese, but they show you how to do stitches, and they show you how to do the finish, because a lot of them are finished uniquely, and so they have instructions. I mean, you could probably figure it out from the pictures, or just use Google Translate or something. So those are all my purchases, and now I've buried my other pages. Okay. Oh, I need to tell you about the most dangerous floss tube. I don't know if you all know it. Brandy from BeStitchMe, the fabric dyer, she has a floss tube. I think she was on for a while and then she stopped because she got into the dyeing. She just posted a new video, and yes, she does amazing patterns, many of which you already know or have seen, and she does them on her fabric and often uses her silk conversion. So watch her video at your own peril because I made quite a few purchases because of her video. Oh gosh, it's so beautiful, and she's so sweet, and she has the most beautiful voice. So go check out Brandy at BeStitchMe if you dare. So quick life update. I talked a couple times ago about Rosie, my dog, her eye problem. She is, after all this time, you're probably like, oh, I bet they're done with that. Nope, I've been giving her eye drops all this time, but I went last Tuesday and she got a clean bill of health. Her eye is finally healed. I can now go more than 4 hours without putting eye drops in her eye. So she's doing really good, and my vet is so great. She actually called all the vet techs into the room, and they did a dance party for her. So cute. Rosie's like, what's happening? And Steve is home from Alaska. He I don't even know if I told you he wanted to change careers to be on the seas and try shipping just as a fun semi-retirement occupation, and he got a job in Alaska on it's a ship that it resupplies the oil rigs out there. So he was just trying to get experience. It's really, really hard to break into this job, but once you do, there's a lot of cool choices of ships you can be on. So he went up there for a couple months and enjoyed it, and he's back, and now he's looking for other adventures to be on. So anyway, that's why he was home, ruining my eBay algorithm. This is what I want to talk to you guys about. We went to 2 baseball games, and I forgot, y'all, if you want to restore your faith in humanity and kind of cheer yourself up, go to a baseball game. Any baseball game. I don't care if it's Little League, if it's college league, minor league. Wow. So we went to the Colorado Springs, the Vibes. They're a minor league team. And that was really fun. A really friendly stadium, really, it was just, it was just fun. And I like minor league games because they goof around a lot. It's not so serious as the major leagues. College leagues are even better, because they're just young kids having a good time. So we did that and had a blast. And then we went to a Rockies game, which is the Colorado's Major League Baseball team. They are on track this year to set a record of the worst performing baseball team in the country, set by the White Sox last year. And I guess the Rockies are smashing that record to pieces. But it doesn't matter. It's all in good fun. I had been to Rocky Stadium twice before in past years, but Steve wasn't able to go. I was sent with other groups like work and stuff. And I wanted him to see it because he's a huge, huge baseball fan. He played baseball in high school, and he's been a fan his whole life, but he'd only been to one major league game in his entire life in 1982. And so we finally got around to getting tickets, and I treated him to club seats, because why not, for fun. I forgot how cheap baseball tickets are. So it was, oh my gosh, that stadium is very family friendly. It's just a really good atmosphere, and it's just so fun seeing families bringing their little kids and stuff, and the kids get all excited. And he was like a little kid. Like, we walked around the whole stadium just to see it, and we had good seats, and the couple sitting in front of us were like a little bit older than us, in their 60s, and we got to talking with them. Well, the funny thing was, before we met the couple, we were walking around the club area, and this guy walked by us wearing this fancy purple jacket, like kind of purple paisley. He was all sparkly, and was like, wow, that guy's fancy. What's he doing? Well, we were sitting there, and this couple was sitting in front of us, and they had their jerseys on. Well, he walked up to them, and they knew each other. That's their son-in-law, and he's the announcer for the stadium. So we got to meet him, and they asked us to take their picture together, and we got talking with them. Their son and their son-in-law Dinger, the mascot for the Rockies. And so they've been taking their kids to that stadium for 30 years. The core stadium just had its 30-year anniversary, and they've been going there the whole time. And their grandson's dad is Dinger, but he didn't know it his whole childhood. It's kind of like a Santa Claus story. So they were having a blast telling us all these stories. And anyway, we just had such a great time. And then at the end, because it was 4th of July weekend, they let, I didn't realize this, all the folks in the cheap seats and the seats that were facing the wrong direction, they let them all come down onto the field. And so we waited a long time there playing music and stuff, and everybody got to go out onto the field. They packed the field, and then they did this whole production with the mascot Dinger is a triceratops, because when they were building the stadium, they found dinosaur fossils. There's dinosaur fossils all over the place out here. So Dinger did this whole thing. He brought out this giant TNT, box, and they made a whole show of him starting the fire. They had fireworks, was my point. So we got to watch this amazing fireworks display. It was just the thing I like about baseball. I don't even care about the game. Like I have no idea what I know some of the rules. I know like the point of it and everything. I usually don't have any idea what's going on. But I just love the culture of baseball, like the hot dogs and the grass and the family stuff, and it's remained fairly consistent through all the years. When things are looking kind of terrible in this country, baseball is still the same, which I really love. So if you're in a country that has baseball, go to a baseball game, man, like really. And if you're not, I'm sure there's another outdoor festival or music or something. Go to something and get out there with the crowds, and it'll restore your faith in humanity a little bit. So along those lines, I've touched on it a little bit. I know things are bad out there. It's getting really bad. And I won't go into it. Y'all know, you watch the news. And I spend a lot of time thinking, what do I do? What do I do? And I don't know. And I also spend a lot of time feeling guilty about all the stuff I just showed you, right? Like, what am I doing? The world's on fire. But I have a list of things that anyone, anywhere in the world can do. I've sort of collected places, and these mostly came from other people because I'm not that smart. These are all very easy things, and these are things you can do. And if I sound preachy, I'm saying this to myself because I need to tell myself this to remind myself. So I hope I don't come across as in a bad way. I'm just trying to, if I need to hear it, I think maybe someone else needs to hear it. So here are some things, and this kind of breeds into gifts from the algorithm. I stumbled across a TED Talks video that I'm sharing below that I think everyone should watch. So as soon as, you can pause me right now if you want. Click on that video. Please, please, please watch it. So this is a list of 10 things anyone can do in these horrific times. The first one is make art. And the TED Talks video I'm linking is a woman who is explaining why it's not just okay to make art right now. Everyone needs to do it. It's necessary. And she does a very eloquent job of explaining why. And not just people that don't make art, like anyone. People who don't make art themselves should make art. It doesn't have to be perfect or beautiful. It does things to our brains. And of course, we all know, those of us who've seen art that moved us, art does beautiful things for people. And there's no way of knowing, is this art going to be good? Is this what's going to make people feel good? There's no way of knowing, so just make all of it. Do it all. I think of that Grandpa Wes. He was just making that stuff for something to do, I bet, when he started, right? But then he made this beautiful thing that's now affected me, and he doesn't know me. But now I'm cherishing it. Obviously, that's not going to change the world. If that never happened, it wouldn't change the world. But think about Van Gogh, right? When Van Gogh was doing his art, nobody cared or liked him. Quite frankly, he sold one painting when he was alive, and that man was in a lot of pain, and he chose to make art with it. And I know that art of his has changed the world in so many ways and continues to. there's no way of knowing that he was the guy that was going to make the paintings that would change the world, right? So anyway, I'm blabbering on, but I want to read you 2 quotes from that video to try to convince you to watch it. In a society that profits from you being stuck on your phone, giving your attention to art is a rebellious act. And the other quote is, your art is the antidote to so many people's pain, yet you keep it to yourself. And when I say art, I mean cross-stitching, I mean writing, I mean music, I mean popsicle stick houses. Make art. Do it. And share it with other people if you want to, but sometimes you're just changing something in yourself when you make art. So anyway, I've gone on enough about that. Number 2, they won't all be this long. Find joy and help others find joy. Remember, joy is an act of resistance. Smile at strangers, help when you can. Strike up conversations at the grocery store. And related to that, ask for help if you need it. Ask for help. I'm 5 foot 2 inches, and one time this little old lady at the grocery store asked me to help her get some spices down from the top shelf. And in that moment, I felt like a superhero, right? Just for a minute. And, she got some basil. But you forget sometimes, like, I struggle asking for help, but I feel so good when other people ask me for help and I can help them. I love that feeling. Give that feeling to someone else. And I need to learn that, because there are products at the grocery store that I can only buy if they're right at the front of the shelf, because I can't reach them and I can't get up the courage to ask for help, but I know I should. So I will try if you will try. Okay. Write actual letters to your representatives, other people's representatives, your relatives that you haven't talked to in a while, your local papers. Writing physical letters matters more than, it's so easy to send an email. It's also easy to delete or ignore an email. Physical letters, especially when you send them to congresspersons, they have to be opened by someone. They have to be cataloged. They have to be read. They take up space. They take up physical volume. There are movements out there trying to get people to write. You don't even have to write a careful letter. If you just put "you suck" and put it in the mail and send it to them. Or send your junk mail. Write, if you're worried about an issue, it doesn't have to be political. Write to your local paper. I think a lot of people forget that. My mother's generation, and I've done it because of her. Doesn't matter what it is. Maybe it's, hey, I think we should have a park over here. Just write to your local paper. They'll usually call you and say, just to make sure you're a real person, and they'll say, hey, we're going to publish your letter. And then they publish it in the next issue of the paper. Don't forget to write letters. Exercise and eat healthy. And I'm sorry about that one, but it's true, man. Stay in shape. You deserve to be healthy, you deserve to feel good, and you're training to form the resistance. So I've started thinking of my workout sessions as training for the resistance, and it helps me. It helps inspire me to keep going. I have eaten so much broccoli lately that I'm going to turn into a piece of broccoli. But I feel amazing, and I want you to feel good too. Grow things. Vegetables, flowers, children, friendships. Grow things. Volunteer, and it doesn't matter what cause it is. Volunteer at the animal shelter. Make phone calls if you like making phone calls. If you're like me and you're terrified of making phone calls, volunteer doing something else. My mother, I don't know why, she loved picking up trash. She loved it. And she didn't even have to have an official volunteer capacity. She just started carrying trash bags everywhere she went. And then we got her a fancy, it's a pokey stick, so that you can just jam it into a piece of trash and then put it in your bag. She would go to the zoo. She was not an official zoo volunteer, but she would go to the zoo with her trash bag and pick up trash everywhere. And then she would just leave it by one of the cans or whatever. You can do that, or you can do it in an official capacity. They have Adopt a Highway. I've spoken enough on that. Okay. Declutter. Get that junk out of your house. And added benefit is. If it's stuff that you can donate, someone else can use it. You're not using it, let someone else use it. Then you've got more room in your house for cross-stitching supplies. So you're welcome. And finally, spread this list around. Share it with people. Just put it out there. And if you have better ideas than me, add to the list. Keep going. So thank you for listening to me drone on and on. It was fun hanging out with you. Don't forget, if you're still here and you want to join or you want to enter that drawing, write the word string in a comment, and I will hopefully see you I'll just say in a future date. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, y'all. Bye-bye.